Good morning and welcome in. This is 5 Clubs on Golf Channel.
You are a vital part of our game.
Thank you for having me on.
All the way to the green. Woo! Boy, was that fun.
I've always wanted to be on 5 Clubs. Thanks, Gary.
Good morning, welcome into 5 Clubs Live on a Wednesday, and you can tell, not in the friendly confines of our studios in Charlotte, North Carolina, on the road at the James Hardie Pro Football Hall of Fame Invitational for the second year in a row. It's a pleasure to be here, no matter where we are, though. This program is brought to you by Century Insurance, right by you. Their investments in golf run deep, but their business is business insurance. Evaluate yours with them at Century Insurance. So over the next hour, we take a look at the tee sheet. We're loaded because when you come to an event that features Hall of Famers, you're going to have them, including, well, Billy Andrade's in Hall of Fames. He's also a Payne Stewart Award winner. He is going to be with me like he's already with me. In addition to Thurman Thomas, Calvin Johnson, Bo Van Pelt's going to be with us in a little bit. Darren Clarke, Jay Haas. It's like a Wake Forest reunion throughout this hour of the program. And we may even have another guy who won a Heisman Trophy swing by before we get to our first commercial break. So with that, I will say this, as somebody who loves all sports and has watched the two guys to my left play football, and I don't know if Billy Andrade played football, but I say good morning right out of the box here. Calvin Johnson, Thurman Thomas, Billy Andrade. First of all, gentlemen, good morning. How are we doing?
Good morning.
Doing great.
You're going to play golf today. Thurman, be happy.
Yeah, well, I've been in Buffalo this whole time, so we'll see how it goes.
You can't be happy in
Touche. Simulators just don't give it the right feel.
Not this time of year.
Now, Billy, I don't know if before you got to Providence Country Day School,
wow,
if you played any football. Did you play any Pop Warner growing up?
I did. I played like maybe in the 5th grade and 6th grade. In the 5th grade, it was supposed to be a fake punt, and the center hiked it to me, and next thing you know, I'm running, and I get tackled and break my collarbone. The next year, I went out for a pass. I was a receiver, landed on my wrist, broke my wrist. So I played football for 2 years, and then I realized, you know what? Golf is much better way to go. Much better way. You don't get hit unless your golf cart gets hit by somebody. Yeah. It's a much better sport. This football thing just didn't work. But I'll tell you, for a little Portuguese kid at 5'5", 100 pounds, I was pretty damn good.
There you go. I knew you were going to say that.
Now, you guys are repping the logo. There's nothing, I'm sure, that brings you more pride than representing the Pro Football Hall of Fame. But I must say, 5 minutes before we came on the air, I don't know if you guys noticed, Calvin changed his shirt. I think he wanted to put on a James Hardie shirt. I don't know if you do that everywhere you go. I looked over and I said, that's the human form? That's what it's supposed to look like?
Cut it out.
Come on, do you do that everywhere just to say, I just wanted to change?
We had to put on the good look for James Hardie, man. Had to support. It's great to be out here to support such a great event. But I'm 40, man. That's look at me 10 years ago.
You would have not seen me over there. Yeah, I did mine at the hotel before. I didn't want to change anything.
Calvin, wait till 62.
He's still 40. Oh my God.
I know it. Thurman, we had a chance to spend some time with you last year.
Yeah.
And we all know how much you love the game of golf.
Yeah.
When you're in Buffalo, how do you do anything during the winter months? Do you get in a simulator? Do you hit any balls indoors?
I maybe do simulator maybe once or twice over the whole winter time. Yeah. It's just not me. I want the real feel of it. So I did have the chance to play with my good friend Mike Hillier and Kathy down in Orlando before I came up here at the Four Seasons. So, and I hit the ball where I just been like watching a lot of stuff. Like Tiger said, don't watch YouTube, but I have a certain guy that I follow on Twitter, and I can relate to what he's saying about my swing. And so, and I played the other day and shot 89. I was like, oh, I'm happy with that. So, yeah. Yeah,
Billy, that probably doesn't surprise you. Don't you think players, especially elite athletes like these guys were and are still, when expectations are low, doesn't your mind and body cooperate better? Absolutely.
Yeah. You really don't care. You just go out, you have no expectation. You haven't really put the work in yet. and you usually play better. And then as time goes on, then all of a sudden little things creep in, and then you kind of get worse for a little while, and then it comes back, and then it comes back. Yeah, that's absolutely. You always, the first time out, especially out of a cold winter, and you haven't played, the first time out, you usually play pretty good. And then you go, oh, wow, this isn't that hard. And then next thing you know, you get a little worse, a little worse, a little worse. And then you go, I need to start practicing.
It's the lifetime pursuit. I was saying to you, I saw you doing some interviews. You went to the PGA Merchandise Show. That was your first time being there. Golf for you, though, growing up in the state of Georgia, did you hit any golf balls as a kid?
Yeah.
You were a baseball player in addition to football.
Yeah, I played all sports, but my granddad, he put a golf club in my hand early on. But I really say I didn't really start playing golf till like about 5 years ago when I got my first lesson, and all the bad habits I developed were out the window. Well, sort of.
Yeah. Now, the state of Michigan, look, there are so many good golf courses, whether it be around the Detroit area, northern Michigan is loaded. Are you now, is that one of the things that you enjoy, finding these special places and playing them?
Yeah, as soon as snowboard season's over for me, it's time to pick up the golf clubs. And, Michigan, to your point, I mean, there's obviously all the great private courses, but, I mean, you have a ton of public courses up there with greens that are rolling 11s, 12. So it's great golf in Michigan. You really can't miss out.
Now, Thurman, there are guys that you played against in the NFL who are also enshrined in the Pro Football Hall of Fame who are here. Who's your guy? Who's your grudge? Who's the guy that you take the greatest sense of satisfaction in beating?
Well, I don't think I've beat many guys out here. I haven't beat many guys out here, but it's probably a guy like Marshall Faulk. Because I mean, he's a real good stick, and I'm figuring if I win a couple of holes, he loves it. He's really into it. Serious. But I'm not that as serious as playing golf, but I just absolutely do love the game. But anytime that you can play with any of these players, I mean, I don't know all of their games and how they react throughout an 18-hole course. Some get mad, some smoke cigars, some don't. I'm the guy that smoke cigars, have a couple of and don't even worry about the shots. I know I'm gonna hit some good shots.
Sure.
I just go out there and play and have fun, and I've never gotten angry on a golf course. Never.
Good for you. Yeah. Billy, playing a sport, and when you get to the highest level like all of you did in your respective sports, it's amazing what the game opens up for you. And now, look, I would imagine as a kid growing up in Bristol, Rhode Island, whether it was Sam Bam Cunningham, John Hanna, who was a great offensive lineman for the Patriots.
Minnie McCarron.
You could name all these guys you grew up loving.
Jim Plunkett, I felt so bad for him. He came in as the Heisman Trophy winner.
Yes.
And I don't think the Patriots had an offensive line back then. I just think they just said hike, and then Jim Plunkett just got killed. It was awful back in those days.
Yeah. How about this week? Let's just go down the line because you all of you have tee times. We're going to get you out of here. What do you want to get out of this week, being around these guys who are so good at what they do? I
just love to come here and just see how the pros strike the ball. It's so inspiring, and it wants to, make me keep working on my game. And like I say, this is the beginning of the season for us coming from up north, Buffalo and Michigan. So really just got to spend time out there. So this year, for me, really the goal is just to get more rounds in.
Good for you. Thurman, how about you this week?
It's just, for me, it's just building the relationships with golfers. That's all it is. Yeah. I mean, I got a chance to play with Joe Durant last year, and since we left here, I mean, we text like every other week.
That's great.
It's great, the relationship that we have. And so, so I'm playing with Jeff Maggard today. I've heard all great things about him. So, just another relationship to build on, man.
I just think the camaraderie is the key. I remember Arnold Palmer, when I was in college at Wake Forest, came and spoke to our golf team and said, golf will open up so many doors for you. And like you're saying, me coming from Rhode Island as a kid, the game of golf and the people I've met and the athletes I've met, we become dear friends, and it's just going to continue, and it's all because of how great this game is.
Well, and this event, connecting PGA Tour champions with the Pro Football Hall of Fame, it's great to see you guys be able to spend time with each other, but also have these rounds of golf with these great legendary players. Calvin Johnson, Thurman Thomas, Billy Andrade. Play well today. Have a great week. Great to see you all.
Thanks for having me.
I don't have to watch them, but I think it's you guys' tea time.
We transition you out with not only Hall of Famers, but Heisman Trophy winners.
Heisman Trophy winners, Super Bowl MVP guys. I mean,
Super Bowl MVP, NFL MVP. Marcus, thank you. All right, so that's how we're going to do this hour. It's a shift change, and we enter in Marcus Allen. I haven't seen you in a while, and I love seeing you. The infrequent times we get a chance, pick up that stick mic so people can hear you. How you feeling?
I feel good.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, you're the most regal guy. You really are.
Well, I try to
Marcus.
dress like you.
Well,
man.
I mean, you got your Millar hat on.
You're one of my idols there, man.
Well, how about golf for you? Because, you know, I spent a little time with you years ago in Tahoe.
Yes.
I know how much you love the environment.
Crazy about it.
I know you are, and I know competitiveness. It's a good thing to have that kind of bubble up. But the fellowship, being around people, meeting people, how beneficial has having golf in your life been for you?
Well, I got to tell you what, Gary. We've already. I think we talked about it before. It's especially when you retire. It's our locker room.
Yep.
You know, guys don't say, "Hey, let's go shopping." Guys don't say, "Let's go to the spa." Guys say, "Let's golf." We spend, 4 to almost 5 hours of quality time together. We bet, we laugh, we joke, and sometimes guys are going through stuff, we lift them up. So it's a great game for us and stuff, and especially, as we, get closer to the sunset of our lives and stuff, it's the one thing that we can do. We're not playing basketball anymore. We're not playing football anymore. We're not doing any of those things and stuff. So golf is great.
When you transition, look, you played 16 years in the NFL. Yeah. You're a unicorn, particularly at any position, let alone running back, and productive all the way to the end, running the ball, catching the ball. You could do it all. You were a great athlete in high school, throwing the football as well. When you transition to something like golf, have you learned anything about yourself trying to pursue something that you get other things out of it, but as far as discipline, patience,
golf has been very, very frustrating, and I think when I look back and reflect on everything, it's basically because I really lost my athleticism. It became so technical. Right? And then I got into, loading on the right side has turned into, I guess the shifting of the mass. And it just should be foot pressure.
Yeah.
And so I'm getting back much faster now than I did before. I was like always, on the right side and then coming over the top and stuff like that. But just going back to like real simple athletic stuff, you know what I mean? So it's almost like a picture winding up. He's stepping forward, but the ball's still back here.
Yep.
You guys can't do it in just one motion. You got to have the body separate. And it took me, I don't know how many years to learn that stuff. It's crazy, man.
You're always learning. That's
nuts,
the thing
man.
about
Absolutely.
it. Absolutely. You're right, because if I would consider when you probably started playing golf in terms of teaching and the things that were being emphasized, the way that the best players in the world now use the ground and launch angle and the introduction of not only TrackMan but data and so instruction has evolved in that way. How about going to places you found, places you love? Where do you love going to play golf?
Well, I've been fortunate enough to play a lot of great places. Yeah.
What are the places that your thoughts about being there, whether it be Cypress Point or Pine Valley or
those are two places that I played.
I've
been able to play Augusta, which is literally right after the tournament was over and stuff. So that was amazing too. But there are a lot of great courses. I like Oakmont. One of my great trips was, matter of fact, it was me. I think it was Richard Dent and Eric Dickerson. USC was. They had. This was after the Steelers won the Super Bowl.
Right.
This was a couple years ago, though, many years ago, but and they opened up in Pittsburgh. The winning team opened up the season, and so we played Oakmont, and then USC was playing Ohio State, so we drove from Pennsylvania to Ohio State, and we played Muirfield.
Okay, Ohio might be as deep as any state.
There you go, man. It's like it's. And so we had a blast, right? We played Oakmont, we played Muirfield. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that, actually. There's a lot of great courses, though, and it's when you get the opportunity to play, we do. I mean, Jerome Bettis has an amazing tournament. He has it Friars Head. We played. I mean, Shabanic.
The East End of Long Island is Shangri-La.
Well, I played Shabanic, Shinnecock, and National. Yeah, 3 days in a row. So.
Well, that's a pretty good rotor right
Absolutely.
there.
Absolutely, it is.
All right, before I let you run, this week, in terms of being around these guys, do you get things by osmosis, visualization, that you can hold on to and apply to your own game?
Oh, absolutely.
These guys?
Absolutely. I mean, I think especially if you really love golf the way I do, you're always looking, right? And I'm playing with David Duval, and I think the last time I played with David was not the day that he shot 59. But I played with him in Palm Springs.
Right.
So hopefully I'm going to bring him some good luck.
That was height of his powers.
Absolutely.
Then.
I mean, he was balling then. So.
No doubt. You're awfully kind to come on over for a couple minutes.
Oh, come on.
Great seeing you.
Come on. You got to give me. Listen here.
You don't wear a Schmedium, Marcus.
Oh, I know. That is a Schmedium. It is.
I know a guy. Great seeing you.
Same here.
Right,
always, Gary.
Marcus,
you got it.
As we begin here on this Wednesday, and as you see, Pro Football Hall of Famers and, of course, members of PGA Tour Champions, Bo Van Pelt is going to join me in a couple of minutes. Jay Haas, Darren Clarke as well. Nice to have you with us live on Golf Channel and PGA Tour Radio, Channel 92 on SiriusXM. We're back from the James Hardie right after this. Back in on this Wednesday live on Golf Channel and, of course, on PGA Tour Radio, Channel 92 on SiriusXM. This segment of our program brought to you by Peter Millar when it comes to a luxury apparel brand that can cover all of the things in your life, whatever it is that you do, wherever you go, whatever you do, they've got you covered at Peter Millar and petermillar.com. All right, joining me now, newly minted last year, making the transition from the PGA Tour to PGA Tour Champions, Bo Van Pelt. Won on the PGA Tour. You won all over the world. You won in Malaysia before that event was official as well. First of all, it's good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
Making this transition, Zach Johnson is doing it officially this week. What was the thing that you thought was most important in terms of your toolkit to be ready to do this for 3 rounds each week?
No, I think, there was a small adjustment period. I think we're creatures of habit, so you get used to 4 rounds and the 1 Pro-Am maybe. And so I think it took a couple weeks just to get used to. It's, just a different schedule during the week. And so, but man, it was just exciting to be out here. It was kind of dumb luck. My youngest graduated high school the week I turned 50. So it was kind of transitioning into that now of like getting back into full golf mode. And so it's been really fun so far.
Bo, one thing that I think is really underrated about careers are people who can be fully exempt and not have that purgatory period where you don't have a place to play competitive golf every week. Chris DeMarco, who I did a lot of television with, he's like, that was hard to suddenly try to recalibrate. How about for you in terms of having edge, trying to be competitive, but not being able to play every week before you're 50?
Yeah, mine was different. I got hurt in 2016, and I didn't play golf for almost 4 years, so I thought my career was over. Then the kind of final surgery got me back and was able to play a couple years on tour, and then kind of 48, 49, played a few Corn Ferries just to stay sharp, but I was having a great time being at home and being a dad. And so, yeah, there was a little bit of that, but I think definitely playing a few tournaments here and there helped me be somewhat ready when I turned 50.
What is something in terms of being amplified as far as its importance, whether it's a data point, a club in your bag, that you think is more important now than maybe it was 10, 15 years ago when you were in your prime physically?
I think on this tour, the biggest thing is you don't want to make a lot of bogeys, like just careless bogeys. With only 54 holes, there's a lot of good players out here. So to me, the birdies are going to come. It's just you just can't make those silly mistakes because you don't have the time to make it up. And I think another thing too is just putting the ball in play. And again, I think the main thing is just not making the silly mistakes because guys are too good here that you're just not going to have a chance to catch up.
The thing that, look, people who play at the level that you played at, which is the best tour in the world, the whole thing about shooting your age is something that I think more recreational golfers, it's like a great badge. But someone like Bernhard Langer and Jay Haas, who's going to be on this program, when you're shooting your age or better in PGA Tour Champions events, that's extraordinary. I mean, do you have a perspective on Bernhard being around it? I don't know if you've been paired with him yet or not.
I haven't played with him on this tour. I played with him at Riviera back when he was playing, and he was amazing then. So just to see the kind of, to me, the work ethic, the consistency, and his commitment to the game, his fitness. Same with Jay Haas. You watch those guys hit balls. I mean, it looks the same as it did when I got on tour when I was a rookie in '99. So to me, it's a credit to them. They're true professionals that, they've made a lifetime commitment to this game, and they've done everything in their power to be as good as they could be for as long as they could be.
The Oklahoma State thing, with that many good players, and you've made the state of Oklahoma home after, spending your formative years in the state of Indiana. The Oklahoma, how important is it for you to stay connected, to be there for a program that produces guys who are ready to play for a living, it seems like every single year? Do you stay as plugged in as you can?
Yeah, kid from Richmond, Indiana, to get a chance to play, to me, it's the best golf program in the country. It's just a unique fraternity. It's really a brotherhood that we all stay connected. Their coach now, Alan Bratton, was a teammate of mine. When they were redoing Karsten last year, they were coming back to Tulsa and playing a lot. So I got to play with, Preston Stout and Gavin Lane and Eric Lee and those guys. And so I was screaming at the TV when they were trying to win a national championship game. So I think all of us that have been fortunate to be touched by that program, it's just something you'll never turn your back on. And it's guys that we just have an understanding of what it means to be an Oklahoma State golfer, and it's just very unique.
Goal setting here, I don't know if you wrote down goals, verbalized them. Your instructor lives in the town I grew up, that I live in, and he works with a lot of great players at all levels. How much goal setting do you do now?
I'm not crazy about it. I think about it, but to me, I'm trying to be the best version of myself right now that I can be. And I think physically I feel great. I think I'm hitting the ball farther now than I ever have. So I'm trying to be the best version of my golfing self I can be. And so that's what's great about this game. There's always something to get better at. And so that's what I'm working on. A couple of years ago, it's been a handful now, you were in contention at Congaree. They had two events. They had what was the Palmetto Championship, and then they also had what was they had an event that usually is in Korea that they brought for various reasons. Anyway, I haven't had a chance to ask you this. What was it like to find yourself in an environment deep end of the pool late in a golf tournament for the first time in a while? What was that like? No, it was fun. It was just, it was a golf course I fell in love with when I first got there. I had a great local caddy who was really good at reading the greens. And, I was just really happy how I played. My game felt good. And it was unfortunate to lose. But, the two shots I hit that I made bogey coming down, I thought I hit good shots. So, I don't know if that made it easier or harder to swallow, finishing second, but, that's what you do. That's why you get up in the morning, you work out, and you hit balls is to get in contention. So whenever you get a chance to do that, it's always fun.
Bo, I was there that week, and that golf course, the turf conditions are as tight as anywhere. I think if it didn't rain, it was so fiery and so fast. But that had to agree with you. That probably had to ignite in you, God, this is the way golf should be.
Oh, for sure. It's why I've always loved going overseas and playing. Yeah. I think the firm and the fast and the creativity and playing in the wind, and to where you really gotta, you're not getting away with average golf shots. And so to me, it was just, I think there's a creative side of me that I really like it when you have to play golf like that. And so Congaree, even though it ended kind of on a sour note, It'll always have a special place to me, and I always think highly of the place.
Back in on a Wednesday here on 5 Clubs Live on Golf Channel, and of course PGA Tour Radio Channel 92 on SiriusXM Live from the James Hardie Pro Football Hall of Fame Invitational. And it is great to have a Wake Forest Alumni Association meeting breakout. And you're going, really, Darren Clarke? Oh, yes, yes. DC was there, and of course this gentleman right here, Jay Haas, 18-time winner on PGA TOUR Champions. You have 5 yourself. Champion Golfer of the Year in 2011. I love seeing both of you. How you feeling, Jay?
I feel all right for 72. I'm upright.
You shoot your age every week or better.
Well,
Usually better.
When you get to a certain point, it gets a little easier, but that doesn't pay the bills too much.
Does it really get easier? I mean, he's like, it gets easier when you get it.
No.
Darren, it's absurd for anybody to shoot their age. He's doing it with a card and a pencil.
Oh, I know. I'm playing as well, don't forget. I'm there. I'm watching his name up on that leaderboard all the time. It's incredible. But that's Jay. He's just, he's been a legend for a long, long time. His golf he plays out in the Champions Tour is stunning. He played great in the PGA Tour, obviously, as well. But out here in the Champions Tour, he's just somebody we all aspire to be. He's a gentleman. He's one of the, if not the best guy out here, and we're very fortunate he's still out here with us playing.
Now, did you go to Northern Ireland to recruit him to Wake Forest? Were you involved in the recruiting process?
It was 10 or 20 years later. I didn't even know he'd gone there. I think he was there for about 10 minutes. And adios.
Yeah, Coach and I did.
It really affected his career too.
Yes, it did.
He didn't stay.
What? Seriously, Darren, what was it about? By the way, your picture though is in that hallway at Old Town. You claim him.
Here, this now got a real silly, trivial pursuit sort of question for you. Which American university has had the most Ryder Cup captains? Wake Forest, because nobody ever gets me. They never put me in there. Yeah. Right. I wasn't quite there for long enough, but it's one of those.
Were you there 6 weeks, a semester?
No.
A year?
No. I was there.
I want to hear the story.
Semester in a little bit,
Okay.
The coach didn't really quite see my sort of lifestyle, the way I like to do things, fitting in with everybody else, and our opinions sort of clashed at one stage, and I left the next day.
There we go.
Unfortunately, that was it. But I had a great time when I was there.
I'm sure you did.
A semester and a half.
The story I heard was that I don't know if people know Old Town Club. There's it's a three-wooder, a driver for me, short of a creek, and then up the hill to the green of par 4. And they said Darren would get out of the car and kind of give it a stretch and then airmail the creek and hit wedge in there. That's the kind of guy we would want on the team. But
you probably made 3, I made 6. Probably not
often.
Jay, to keep doing this and to do it so well, why do you love doing this? I mean, still.
I tell people that when I'm playing around and I see a shot and I'm able to hit it, that's what keeps me going. I can. It doesn't happen very often anymore. I can kind of pick and choose now when it does happen, but it just me against the course, me against the shot at the hand there. But I don't know. I just enjoy competing. I enjoy trying to compete against these guys here, and getting tougher and tougher. But I just have. It's all I've ever known.
It's interesting that your close relationship with the Harmon family, Billy in particular, obviously, all the years working with him on your bag, your relationship with Butch. When he says seeing a shot in the air, I know that tickles you, because that's what you want to feel. That's what you want to see. See it, be it.
Yeah, it is. Obviously growing up in Ireland playing all that sort of links golf, that's what links golf is. You know, you're hitting a shot from maybe 1 minute you're going 150, 160 if it's blowing a gill, you're hitting a chip trap 6-iron into a green. The next it's blowing 180, you're hitting a sand iron trying to land it short of the green and let it run up there. And it's all imagination, a little bit of feel. Yes, you watch this range this week and you're going to see the guys out grinding, working. But as Jay says, it's that shot that if you see one, you're just holding up a little 5-iron against the right-left breeze, or you're knocking one down. When you hit those and you hit them good, still at our age, it feels great. It's sort of, yeah, we can still do this. This is good.
You kind of look around and go, did anybody see that?
Yeah, thank you very much. Give me a pop. Right. Hit that one okay. It's one of those. So, we still, it's the challenge. The Champions Tour, we've got a wonderful a group of players out here getting stronger and stronger. And, it's all quite relaxed and a lot of fun. We're here at James Hardie, and it's all chilled and it's starting.
Yes.
But make no mistake, when we get to Friday morning, we're back to being tour pros again.
Yep.
We've spent our whole lives being tour pros. And as soon as the gun goes off with a card in our pocket, we're back to being tour pros. And if we play bad, it still hurts.
Oh, yeah.
It does. It really does. You take a look at what happened up last week to Shane Larry. He had everything, he's cruising along there. And then all of a sudden, golf just got him. And, that would have hurt.
But at the end of the day, what we have tried to do, I guess, from as we get older, is learn from situations like that and what have you. And I'm sure Shane will bounce back even stronger and win one of the next few because he's such a good player. But it just shows golf is hard. It can just get anybody, and it still gets us.
Hard to finish, too.
Yeah.
Just that proved it right there. You would have thought that it was a given there, standing on the 16th tee for him.
Exactly, and it's just, that's golf.
Yep.
But we love, you get, if you want to be a professional golfer, and through my foundation at home, I will tell the young kids when I get time to spend with them, if you don't want to put yourself in a position where if it hurts, don't think about playing professional golf, because it's going to hurt an awful lot more than you're going to have the good times. But the good times somehow keep bringing us back, don't they? They do. Yeah. But it's going to hurt. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to lose tournaments that you should win. And then now and again, you're going to win tournaments that maybe you back into. It's just what we've chosen to do as golf.
Yeah, and that's, to me, as somebody who gets to cover it, it's your ability to live with the consequences, whatever they are. And being pragmatic enough, at least in your mind, as best you can, to look at it as just an outcome. It's not a pass or fail, it was an outcome. And I think Shane it will be a study of that starting this week at Bay Hill. I'm curious for both of you. Your first U.S. Open was 94, your first was 74. You were low-am in 74 and 75, by the way. 74, not exactly an easy setup at Wingfoot. Right. 94 at Oakmont, not exactly a cupcake either. Technology, what was the hardest adjustment for you? As technology evolved, everyone goes, well, it makes it easier. I don't know necessarily for the best players if it's always to their advantage to get things that for us seem like they're easier. Was there something, whether it be solid core golf ball, whether it be a bigger headed drive, was there something that you struggle with technology advancements?
I think the game, it didn't get easier so much, but they've lengthened now to kind of compensate for the extra distance that the guys are getting with the new drivers and the golf ball. But the firmness of the greens, the quickness of the greens, I think that's changed. I saw a graph sometime recently where the greens at Wingfoot were like 8 point something on the stimp meter, and now that wouldn't even. That's the fairways basically. So that has kept the scores maybe not from going quite so low. The firmness of the greens just seems to be the barometer of high scores. If the firmer they can get them, the tougher the scoring is. But I don't know. It's just something that we evolve to. You just adjust to the the length of the driver now is another 2.5 inches longer, lighter shaft, bigger head. I was never a great driver of the ball, never a long hitter, but the bigger head and everything, that's helped me.
How about you because Billy Andrade was up here, and the great story of him putting the ball that was in the white box and playing Vegas, and he went from being in the abyss to being in the winner's circle. Did you adjust easy going from a spinny round ball?
That's what I was going to say. Back quite a few years ago, with all technology advancing, the ball advanced an awful lot. Because when we were playing, trajectory control was everything. With me playing it back in Ireland, going up in Ireland, if you didn't have a knockdown shot, links was going to eat you up all the time, yet the golf ball was spun too much and was always trying to get up, so you had to learn to control your trajectory. The more modern golf balls, they've advanced so far that most of these young kids now just send it, don't they? I mean, they just tee it up and send it. We couldn't do that now. We had to hit like a little hold against the breeze or move it this way. Now the ball's designed to not actually do that so much. So it's a whole different sort of skill requirement, and it's just. Are they better? Are they worse? It's just different. It's a completely different game now to what we played those years ago with the softer, spinnier golf ball. But it's just progression, isn't it? It's like tennis, the same sort of thing. They hit it harder, they hit it faster. The game's just moving on, and it's wonderful. I love now and again going if I'm at a tournament watching the PGA Tour guys. I love watching them just send it up there and just ripping it and just flushing it. We got a Corn Ferry event down at the Abigail Club at home down there, and I watch these young kids coming out, and I don't know how they're not all broken legs, broken backs. They hit it so hard and so far. It's amazing to watch.
The shot tracer thing that goes up 140 feet in the air. I just can't even imagine hitting the ball that high.
Can we get a lobber up that high?
Exactly.
But it's a full-blown set, and that's a completely different way that we used to play. There was a premium on hitting fairways and hitting on the right side of the flag and stuff. There still is, but there's a different way that they do it.
It's great seeing both of you. Thanks for coming over, spending a few minutes.
Bet, Gary.
And you're right. I know when the gun goes off Friday.
Oh, yeah.
You're digging in.
Oh, yeah. I want to kick his butt. He wants to kick mine.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's the way it is.
And that's the beauty of it all.
It is.
And then you can enjoy a libation when it's all over, or a few.
You said one there, didn't you?
You
forgot. Yeah, exactly.
What was that?
He forgot his marker there, didn't
I don't
he?
think those two words go
I
together.
retired from that game, so I've lost the language.
Yeah, I know, but you haven't got a vest on today. You got a jumper.
It's a very light single ply.
Yeah,
right
I know,
here.
but you're a vesting king. I mean, you've got it. You've got a jumper. You've thrown us today.
You giving me a demerit on my apparel is very demoralizing.
Thank you very much.
All right, Darren Clarke, Jay Haas, we continue here on this Wednesday. Don't worry, we got dogs, we got picks. We're back right after this. Welcome back in on this Wednesday live from the James Hardie Pro Football Hall of Fame Invitational. This segment brought to you by Century Insurance. They do business insurance. Evaluate yours with them. They want to be right by you. Right by me now, Jeff Shreve, Senior Director of Player Relations for the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and Noor Boyle, Senior Director of Marketing for James Hardie. And we will give something to her in a few minutes that I know she's going to be exceedingly proud of. We were with you guys last year. Jeff, Noor, good to see you both. Good to be back. Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Well, okay, so between year one and year two, when you connect PGA TOUR Champions with the Pro Football Hall of Fame and a sponsor that is now investing in the professional game of golf, what have you learned, Jeff, about what you can do better and what was so beneficial about just doing this, period?
Yeah, well, it's a lot bigger. As soon as we got here last year, it was a lot bigger than we thought. And even the guys, the Hall of Famers, were amazed at the breadth of this entire event. But in working with James Hardie and ProLink Sports, we have really just kind of elevated this, I think, all year long. We're working on this. I can tell you, for about 3 weeks after last year's event, which was in April, we had Hall of Famers contacting us, either guys that played that want to make sure they penciled in the dates for this year, or guys that didn't, that wanted to make sure that they got here.
Yeah. How about for you, your perspective? Look, it's your responsibility in terms of investing dollars and your brand and the association of your brand. How much validation have you felt between the launch, and I was there in Canton, Ohio when this was introduced for the press conference, to year one to now? How much validation do you feel as a company?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we wouldn't be here if we didn't feel like this was the right investment and right move for our business. We are already starting to see some really great success both in the community by the amount of interest and attraction that fans are bringing. We're also, just continuing to layer on new and exciting things. So this year, as we've come together with the AZEK company, we're bringing new brands into the fold, TimberTech and others. So we're starting to see the investment, continue to roll through. So this year is going to be bigger and better than last year. $600,000 raised for charity last year, and on track to deliver way more than that this year.
It's already better for you. We'll explain that in a second.
Yeah.
She has to listen to an appeal to clients. You have to listen to an appeal to players who've been the best at what they do. That's why they have gold jackets. How about what they get out of this week? What do you hear from these guys, like you said, who want to put it on their calendar, and then the experience of being around these guys and the fellowship and the camaraderie of it all?
Well, first of all, they're fans, so they're nudging each other, pointing out the pro golfers that are here that they've watched for so many years, and the golfers do the same thing with the Hall of Famers. But the one thing you see about all these Hall of Famers, once they're done playing football, when you think about it, if you have a normal career, you're done playing football at 34, 35 years old. They still want to compete, and golf gives them a chance to compete. They're challenged by the game itself, and probably not nearly as sore the next day. To come out and play golf is really fun for them.
And maybe their ego.
Yeah, true. That's true.
Yeah. and you got to have one to play that game.
Yeah.
Belief, ego, all of it. How about you, the connection with a brand like the Pro Football Hall of Fame? And look, your logo and your colors are very distinguished. The gold jacket. How much pride do you guys have having the connection with something that's one of the most important venues and achievements anybody can have in all of sports?
Well, I think we already touched on the competitiveness,
Yes.
but it's really bringing these legends together. So the legends of football, the legends of golf. We've got, legendary James Hardie, and this is just a platform for people to compete, bring their all, do it for a really great cause. And so I would say, being shoulder to shoulder and elbow to elbow, I personally love hearing them kind of razzle each other as they go through the week.
Right.
So it's really fun, and I enjoy watching it a lot.
Okay, well, you mentioned ego, you mentioned competitiveness. With that being said, and shoulder to shoulder, this green jacket, Noor, that this
Look
was
at
not
this.
just bestowed upon you.
Right.
This was about achievement.
Right.
You won this yesterday. So
I
Jeff,
sure
can you do the honor? This is a big moment for us at Five Clubs to see a green jacket. It's not the one that I thought of originally that I would always want to put on somebody's shoulders, but you won this.
Thank you.
Sure.
It's truly an honor. We had the women's pro-am. Hardie does a lot to support and benefit women as well, and so does the PGA Tour. We had a women's pro-am on Monday, and the team and I played, and we played with Ken Duke, who was just a gem and a delight. And so, to my surprise, we did take home the win, and at Hardie we do really like to win. So I'll be wearing this at the office back in Chicago a lot.
Does she get to plan the dinner for next year's event too?
I think she should. The navy and Kelly Green is perfection.
Thank you.
Looks great.
Thank you.
It's great to see you both. Thank you most importantly for allowing us to be here to be a part of it. It's a real treat.
Thanks a lot. We enjoy it.
Jeff,
Great to
Noor,
see you again,
thank
Gary.
you very much.
Until next year.
Now, again, this may seem like an awkward tradition. I told them there is nothing they should be prouder of that they are part of the dog segment. Because before we get to dogs, here are our picks for the API. You can look across the board, Signature Series event. I'm not going to belabor all the picks, but again, one of the best fields, huge 2-week stretch here for the PGA Tour. So those are our picks. We updated the standings yesterday. Brendan DeYoung, it's a miraculous thing that we're in the month of March, and he's not only at the top, but the guy who's the bona fide expert, Keith Stewart, is at the bottom. All right, it is time to get to our dogs. Dogs, if you have a dog that has any connection, relationship, association with the game of golf, if you share the game with the dog, send a photo or video, dogs@fiveclubsgolf.com. Here we go. Release the hounds on a Wednesday. That is Emma, a 6-year-old red lab. That is at Divide Ranch Golf Course in Ridgeway, Colorado. Joe Hiss is the owner. Next up is Dexter. Dexter is in Romeoville, Illinois, at the Mistwood Golf Club. His owner is Alex Price, who's one of the assistant professionals. Very good look for Dexter. Next up, Palmer. I have a dog named Palmer, but it's not actually a real dog. That is John Marino's dog. John has made dogs at Old Chatham Golf Club part of not only the lure of the club, part of the logo. And speaking of which, that is Freddie, a 14-month-old shop assistant at the Beverly Country Club in Chicago, Illinois. John Varner's dog, part of the logo. Palmer is as well at Old Chatham. By the way, Beverly has great history as well. Noor was mentioning Chicago. They've had U.S. Opens. Tyler Ray has done a restoration of that golf course. In my final 90 minutes, let me just say that as somebody who grew up watching all of these athletes, Thurman Thomas, who, by the way, gained 135 yards on just 15 carries for the Buffalo Bills against my New York Giants, but the Giants kept them off the field. They only had the ball for 20 minutes. An absolute bona fide legend, Marcus Allen, who was not only a Super Bowl MVP, but an MVP of the league, a Heisman Trophy winner. Calvin Johnson retired from the NFL early, really still in his prime. A physical freak that played a position of wide receiver in a way that we really had not seen before. To have guys like that spend the time and come over, not to mention players who continue to contribute not only to PGA Tour Champions, but to the game of golf. Jay Haas, as I mentioned, was the low amateur at the U.S. Open in 1974. 2 weeks ago, he shot 66 in a PGA Tour Champions event at the age of 72. It's remarkable what the game can continue to give all of us. Most importantly, I want to thank the great folks, not only at James Hardie, but PGA Tour Champions, Pro Links as well, to allow us to bring our show to this, a great event. Last year when we came here, we had not done a remote broadcast. to have a chance to come back here in year 2 fills us with an immense amount of gratitude. For all of us at Signature Sports Group and 5 Clubs, enjoy this event on Golf Channel. Have a great rest of your week. We'll see you Monday, Players Week.